What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today I got the Arizona Cardinals season preview for y'all. And before I get into the schedule record prediction part of the video, which I know is probably going to be the highlight, the main point of this video, I'm going to talk about some of the moving parts that they've had last year. So let's hop into it. And last year they finished with a 4-13 record. They obviously missed the playoffs. They were last in the NFC West. They were one of the worst teams in the league all across the board. And their offseason, I really didn't like. Like, they made no real splash signings. They didn't bring in any game changers, really. I know they have a lot of moving parts. They have a new head coach in Jonathan Gannon, a new offensive coordinator in Drew Petzing. They have a new defensive coordinator in Nick Rallis, and a new GM in Monty Ozenfort. So I know there's a lot of moving parts going on in that front office. And I don't know if that's kind of like what hindered their offseason moves. But like some of the guys that they signed, wide receiver Zach Pascal, definitely a solid wide receiver. I wouldn't say he's anything spectacular. Definitely a wide receiver 4 or 5. Just a nice guy to kind of have stashed, I guess. Punter Matt Hack, one of their, in my opinion, headline free agent signings, and it's a punter. Quarterback Jeff Driscoll, he's already sitting behind Kyler Murray, Colt McCoy. I know they just drafted Clayton Tune. So that's another one of those, just kind of a depth signing. Their biggest signing was probably linebacker Kazir White. I know they also brought in offensive tackle Dennis Daly, but still no real big signings to, in my opinion, take this team to the next step. And they re-signed players like kicker Matt Prater, who was a big one. You always have to have a good, solid kicker in the NFL. And offensive lineman Kevin Beecham and Will Hernandez, as well as running back Corey Clement. So they did get some decent re-signs, but they also lost guys like J.J. Watt, wide receiver Robbie Chosen Anderson. I know it's just Chosen Anderson now, but if you didn't know that, and he was Robbie Anderson before. But anyway, they also lost A.J. Green to retirement. J.J. Watt retired. I know I said J.J. Watt, but he already retired. They also cut wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. So their wide receiver room is worse as a whole. And like I said, with a completely new front office, I don't think things are going to go well for them. Their draft class was decent. It wasn't bad. They got Paris Johnson Jr. with their first round pick. They traded down from 3 to, I want to say it was like 8 or 9 where they got him. He's definitely going to be a starting tackle for them. But all these other guys like BJ Ojolari has a chance to become a decent starter later. I know he's second or third on their depth chart. Garrett Williams, once again, these two guys, BJ Ojolari and Garrett Williams, I think will definitely be special teamers at best, maybe seeing the field if injuries happen. I know the preseason hasn't been played yet, so they haven't seen these guys padded up, and who knows, maybe they will rise up the depth charts. But as it stands right now, besides Paris Johnson Jr., none of these rookies will be making a significant impact this season. So I really do not have super high hopes for the Cardinals. And yeah, so let's just get into their season schedule and my record prediction for them. And starting off, they have Washington week 1. And I do think this is a winnable game for them, 100%. So I'll put a green W right there. And the reason I think they can win this is because I know Washington, they got Sam Howell, and I want to say Jacoby Brissett signed with them too. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. I have it written down somewhere, but I'll save that for the Washington video. But I feel like teams that aren't going to do well, like season long, I think they have a better chance of winning games early in the season just because they can catch teams that maybe haven't fully meshed well yet. And I think this Washington team is one of those teams where it's like, well, if they got Washington in week 13 or something like that, Washington could beat them. But as it stands right now, this is probably one of the more winnable games on their schedule, believe it or not. And then they got a pretty tough stretch. They got the New York Giants, which that's going to be an L. They got the Dallas Cowboys, which is going to be an L. San Francisco 49ers, which will be an L. Cincinnati Bengals, which will be an L. So unless something unforeseen happens, like if Joe Burrow tears his ACL again, if Jamar Chase is hurt and the Bengals are running twos, maybe they can beat the Bengals. Maybe they could beat the Bengals. Same with all these other teams. The Rams, I'm not high on the Rams this year, but I do think this game, because it's in gray, That means it's away, which means it's in LA. I don't think they'll win that game, but I do think they have a chance. So I'll change to green, and I'll turn this Rams game down here into a W. And then they got the Seahawks, which I don't know how Geno Smith's going to do. He's been in the league for a while, and he did have a good year last year. Will he sustain it? I don't know. But I still think overall the Seahawks are just a better team. The Ravens, unless something insane happens, the Ravens aren't going to lose to them. The Browns. Now, this is an interesting one because God only knows what the Browns are going to do this season. And if the Browns are meshing well, playing good football, Arizona has no chance to beat them. But if the Browns are the Browns, Arizona definitely has a decent chance to beat them. So I don't know even if I give Arizona the benefit of the doubt, I still think Cleveland's just way more talented all around the ball. So I'm gonna say that's an L. This Falcons game is definitely interesting. I definitely think the Falcons are a better team, but maybe after losing, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight, they can come together. Kyler Murray, if he plays healthy all season long, I don't think they're gonna lose like forever. They're going to definitely win some. I definitely think they could beat the Houston Texans. They got a lot of moving parts as well. The Steelers matchup is another interesting one, I think, because I'm not too high on the Steelers. I know Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season with them, but I'm not sold on Kenny Pickett as a quarterback. I do think this is one of the matchups where Arizona does have the quarterback advantage, but I know that Steelers defense is pretty good, so I'm gonna say an L, but maybe this could be a win. So I have them at 4 wins right here at their bye week. So what's that? 4 wins and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losses, 4-8. Coming out of their bye, they have the 49ers again, which I definitely don't think is going to be a win. And then they got the Bears on Christmas Eve. And I'm not high on Justin Fields. And I'm not really, honestly, like I prefer quarterbacks that don't scramble just because scrambling quarterbacks have a higher chance of injury. It's just, when they're going to take more hits, there's a better chance of them getting injured. And if Justin Fields is in this game and he's not 100% healthy, or if he's even playing at this point, I definitely think this is a game the Cardinals could win. So I'll put a W there. And then they play the Eagles the next week. And yeah, that's not going to be a win. And then they close out the season in Seattle. And this is one of those games where Seattle could be playing for a wild card spot. I doubt they're going to go for the division with San Francisco, but Seattle, this could be a meaningful game for Seattle where it is not a meaningful game for Arizona. So, with in my fake imaginary scenario in my head, Seattle's playing for something in this game, and it'll be another L for the Cardinals, and that brings their season total down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. So I'll write a 5 right here. It's like a 3-year-old drew it, but oh well, we're rolling with it. 5 wins. And what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 losses. Which, hey, it is an improvement from 4-13, 5-12. Let me know if you think they will do better than 5-12 or if they will do worse than 5-12. I definitely think their ceiling's probably like 6 or 7 wins, with their floor being like 3 wins. So this is kind of like right in between. But let me know what you think about this. Do you think the Cardinals are going to just absolutely suck, or do you think they will surprise some people? I don't think they're going to surprise anybody. I think they're going to be pretty bad. Just there's no way around it. But let me know what you think, and make sure you subscribe, like the video, wait for your favorite team to come out, and hey, have a good one. God bless.